That means that they are still atop the Big Ten standings, and today's big interview takes us to East Lansing. We find the head coach of the Spartans, Adam Nightingale, in place. Adam, first and foremost, we appreciate the time. How enjoyable has this year been watching your guys do what they've done?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been a fun year for sure. We had a lot of turnover and had a lot of new guys, and I think our leadership group's done a great job of just making it a team, and the buy-in's been great. We're not perfect by any means, but we've improved throughout the year. And what I've really enjoyed, it's a group of guys that loves being at the rink. So every day we're having fun.
I know you're working hard, so it probably doesn't seem quite as quick for you, but for the college hockey world, the turnaround seems to have worked pretty quickly. Just your second year behind the bench. What's been your approach and your focus since you kind of took over this program before the start of last season?
Yeah, just taking it one day at a time. I think that's one of the biggest challenges in the world we live in with social media, and there's a lot of noise and distraction, and just focus on things you can control. And it starts with having a great staff, and I feel fortunate the group of people that decided to come to Michigan State and work here, and it's not about them. They want to help the team be great and the players improve, and then just trying to identify the right type of guys that fit in this environment. And so far it's been going well.
Obviously, you do have those guys. What's the biggest collective strength of this group?
I think we're competitive, and I think that, I do think that's got to be your number one quality. I think it's a skill and something you can't take lightly. And, that comes in different forms, right? I think in our sport, obviously it's an abrasive sport. You want to play physical, but there's competing with your execution and competing with your skill. And so that's number one. When we're on the road, we're looking for guys that love to compete.
Adam, you look at the stats nationally. There's no one on your team that's in the top 30 nationally in scoring. Joey Larson leads your team with 28 points, but as you look down, you have 9 other guys with 15 points or more. What's it like from a coach's perspective to know that you can roll out 3, maybe 4 lines and feel like the production's not going to really drop off?
Yeah, I mean, thankful for our depth for sure. We got a lot of different guys that can execute on the offensive side, and I think that helps us in practice, right? You want to create a competitive environment. That's our job as coaches, and I do think it's a product too. Is again, it goes back to recruiting. What you're trying to look for is we want team guys, and it's not about any one guy and rolling one guy over the boards. It's about rolling 4 lines, as long as those 4 lines earn it, and 6 or 7 defensemen, whatever you're dressing. So far, that's been a strength of our team. Definitely has been our depth.
Adam, last 2 weeks have seen you play and split with Michigan and Minnesota, obviously 2 programs who are loaded with high-round draft picks. I know you're ahead of both of them in the standings, and I know that every time you play Michigan, especially in this home-and-home, there's a little bit of extra juice. But do you feel like the guys believe against those teams that have had more success recently that they believe that they still have something to prove?
No, for sure. I think that's one of the things we've done a good job here is you got to have a chip on your shoulder even when you're having success. You got to remain humble and look in the mirror and just say, hey, we still got to get better as a group. And it's never about who we're playing. For us, it's always about us being our best. And I think in our sport too, that's really challenging because you can play a really good game and maybe not get rewarded, and the opposite can happen is you can maybe not play your best and you can win. So really judging it on whether we're playing our best, and our job as a staff is set that standard. And so yeah, I mean, I think our guys, we've taken a step that we got to come to the rink too and expect to win, not in an arrogant way, but I think we've taken a step that way with our program.
Before we started the chat, we showed the highlights from that Friday opener and the 3 third-period goals and the game winner with 4 seconds left. What was that Friday night, especially the third period, like inside Munn?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, we're super thankful. And it's a hockey town here in East Lansing. And, our job, we just needed to put a product out there, and then you knew the fans would fill it. And, I think we've had 20-some straight sellouts, and it's standing room only. And, it was a good lesson for our team. It's just staying with it. In the first 2 periods, we were down 2-0, but it was, I think, scoring chances were 6-6. There wasn't a lot going on. It had a little bit of a playoff feel to it, and they're a well-coached team, a very good hockey team. And, I thought we cranked it up there in the third, and obviously to see the guys get rewarded, that was a special moment, especially Danny Russell. He's a guy that does it the right way, and for him to get rewarded was pretty special.
As a follow-up to that, how much can a win like that, the way you guys won that game, pay dividends when you get into the future and when you do get into those lose and go home type situations in the postseason?
Well, you're right. I mean, I think you want to be a team that understands that, you got to win a variety of different ways. And the last couple of weekends, we've shown we can do that, and obviously it's not a long-term recipe to always come back. You're not always going to come back. And so you want to make sure you're not digging yourself a hole, but also having confidence of doing it the right way. And I think that's what for both those comebacks, I think that it wasn't like we were chasing offense or anything like that. It was just get to being us and do it the right way and believe that eventually, the puck will go in. And those are great things to definitely bank in your memory.
Individually, you have a presumptive top 5 draft pick in this summer's NHL draft in Artem Levshimov. What's his skill set like for those who really haven't had a chance to see him play?
Yeah, I mean, he's very talented, obviously gifted player. He does a lot of things with the puck. Our staff will never try to take credit for him. I mean, he's got some God-given ability for sure, and he's physically strong. He's got big-time poise with the puck. And what I like about Artie is, his ability to defend. He's 17, just turned 18, and playing in our conference, you're facing a lot of really high-end forwards and speed coming at you. And for him, he wants to be a pro, and he's got to be able to do it on both sides of the puck. And he's made a big jump this year, and that's still got a lot of areas to keep improving. But special player, and fortunate we have him.
Yeah, my buddy and our analyst, Paul Caponigri, would be furious and surprised if I didn't ask about the play in goal of Trey Augustine, because for most of this year, he has just been fantastic. What kind of lift has he given you guys?
Yeah, he's been great. Super fortunate he decided to come to Michigan State. He's a kid that could have went anywhere. He committed to us before, I had just gotten the job. And so, just that belief in what Michigan State hockey can be. And, he's obviously got a pedigree of winning, one world under 18, one world junior gold medal. He's got big time poise too. And I love that about him in net. And, there's definitely, we got a young back end, and there's times where he's got to make some big saves for us. But it's never feels like there's a panic there. And that trickled down to our team. I think if you watch our team, again, we're not perfect, but I do think we play with poise, and that starts with Trey and net. And I think the last thing is, he's a team guy. He doesn't want special treatment. He's humble, and that really fits for what we're trying to do.
Just a month left in the regular season, Adam. What's the ultimate goal for this team, and how do you get there?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is when it really gets fun, and you find out. I think we've taken a good step to be a good team, and that's the next step's the hardest one, is for going from good to great. And I'm excited for our guys to play in these type of environments down the stretch, and we'll continue to focus on things we can control, and just trying to improve every practice, every time we're in the weight room. Make sure that we play our best, and make sure that our standard never deviates, and make sure we leave it all out there.
All right, let's finish with the most important question of all. You mentioned Artem as Artie, and anybody who's played hockey or knows hockey guys, we know all nicknames usually end in a Y or an S, and it's part of your first name or your last name. His is obvious, but I was thinking about yours. I'm assuming Nighty wasn't the way to go. So were you Knights? Were you Gales? What was the nickname in the room?
It was Nighty, Knights. Nightmare. That was a nightmare for a while.
You got a lot of them.
You got to earn a nickname like that. But yeah, Nighty mainly.
Well, when you got that many, I think you've earned at least that many, and your team has certainly earned all the respect it's getting this year. Adam Nightingale, head coach of Michigan State. Nighty, we appreciate the time. Best of luck to you and the guys the rest of the way.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.